Coming to you live from the palatial studios of PBJ Productions. Welcome to Patrick and BJ Talk Real Estate, where we talk about life, the universe, and everything as it relates to real estate. Hey everybody, it's BJ.
And Patrick.
And we're here again talking about all things real estate. And today we have a special guest that we're going to talk about what's going on in the world of mortgages and mortgage rates and how that affects you and how you can take advantage of a lot of opportunities that are out there.
So our special guest, Nathan Blais, he's a mortgage professional and he's going to help us with answering these questions.
Hey everybody.
So Nathan, what are some strategies to pay off your mortgage faster? And will these strategies make a difference in like dollar amounts?
Well, the simplest strategies to pay off your mortgage faster and save on interest would be accelerated bi-weekly payments, or you can even just regular, just continue adding. If it's an open loan, you can just do big chunk payments to lower that principal.
Right. So what is an accelerated bi-weekly payment?
So an accelerated bi-weekly payment is basically a monthly payment divided in half, and you're making 26 payments a year. So depending on when you actually sign that deal, it could be 27, but 26 payments a year. And based on that, so you're essentially making one extra payment per year, which is going down to principal. And so that's based off those calculations, you're lowering your principal faster, which then you're paying less interest on that principal.
And you're making your payment at the beginning of the month or the end of the month?
Bi-weekly, right? So every 14 days.
So you make an extra payment.
You're making an extra payment every time, basically, or is it early?
You make one extra payment in the year. Is that how that works out?
The 26.
Well, you're not just like making an extra payment, right? It's because there's so many days in the year that it calculates to, you'll be making, as far as paying down principal, one extra payment than it would be monthly.
Yeah. So I guess the point I was thinking is the difference between monthly or semi-monthly is simply just 2 payments a month. But when you do bi-weekly
is every 14 days.
You're going to get one extra payment at the end of the year.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Can you do that with any mortgage? Like residential, normal mortgage?
It would depend on, I guess, if you're, it's all in the terms of how you choose to pay your mortgage. Like some people can do weekly, which is not a good idea depending on how you get paid. But it would be of how you structure the deal and how you choose to pay that mortgage.
I know when I got my mortgage, I was able to go back and make some changes because I started off at bi-weekly,
right,
and then I changed it to weekly. Now I don't have a paycheck every 2 weeks or every 30 days, so it didn't matter to me that it's leaving the account.
That's definitely a conversation you'd have to have with the lender. I'm sure there's no reason why a lender would say no, right? But then again, I can't speak for the lender.
But okay, so doing that extra 26th payment, would that considerably change the length of your mortgage?
Yes. So you depending on the mortgage and the interest rate, you could be looking at several years reduced off, 4, 3, if not more. And talking about interest savings, if you want to talk about the term, potentially, it really depends on the interest rate per term. But over the age of the mortgage, the amortization, $100,000 more on interest savings, right?
Wow.
So
and that's just by making one extra payment a year, basically. Yeah.
And another topic, really interesting way to actually accelerate that process even further is the Smith maneuver. If you've ever heard of it.
I know it on surface, but I wouldn't be able to explain it. So if you can explain the Smith maneuver, that'd be really cool.
I would guess it's a wrestling move.
Exactly. It's a chokehold and it's just
Nathan Blais wrestling move.
Right? Nathan
Blais
Smith
maneuver.
Awesome,
exactly.
right?
Absolutely.
It's your finishing move,
right?
Right.
Okay.
So the Smith maneuver, I find it's very neat, and it's not for everybody. It's you have to be, in a decent income bracket to really benefit off that. But it's a way of making your non-tax deductible mortgage complete tax deductible. And the way you do that is you need a HELOC, first of all, so a home equity line of credit. And what you would do is every time you make a principal payment towards your mortgage, you would take out the equity through that line of credit and you put it into an investment. Now by doing so, by putting it from the line of credit into an investment, any money that's borrowed to invest becomes tax deductible. And over the years, what happens is that the more you pull out through your line of credit, the more that becomes tax deductible up until the point where all that money is flowing through the line of credit. So you no longer have that balance in your mortgage, but the line of credit, and it becomes completely tax deductible. And now there's certain ways you can accelerate that process to, combine growth as far as, what your net worth would look like by the end of that period. And it's substantial. It's quite substantial.
So if there's a substantial amount of equity, especially from the last couple years in so many people's residences, they might not realize that they can reuse that money.
Yes.
Do the Smith maneuver, have a tax advantage, and go buy a rental property, a condo.
Exactly.
Something.
And the beauty of that is actually if they're taking that money through the line of credit and they're putting it into an investment property, not only is the mortgage on that investment property 100% tax deductible, but now the funds they pulled out through that line of credit to buy the rental property becomes tax deductible.
That's exciting.
So then they're looking at very large tax credits at the end of the year.
Right.
And if they do that process properly, by the end of 4 or 5 years, they can be getting $100,000 in tax credits. So it's quite impressive. And not only that,
that could be a really huge advantage for
absolutely
for people. Yeah.
And just to add a note on that, when you're putting that money through the line of credit into an investment, that investment has to produce interest or dividends. So we're not even talking right now about the fact that as you're growing your investment portfolio, that's also bringing you revenue through dividends.
Right. Gotcha.
So it gives you a lot of flexibility if it's like
absolutely
if it's through like a dividend stock or if it's real estate investing, another business. That's pretty amazing. Thank you, Nathan Blais, mortgage broker. Thank you for answering those great questions.
Thanks for having me.
And joining us on our podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? If you're watching and you have any other questions, feel free to put them in the comments. You can reach out to us directly. If you haven't, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Just helps us get the word out and grow the channel. We appreciate your time, and we'll see you next time. See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for watching the video. See you next time.